We are back! Huh? What do we do? We're back. We're live. There's millions of people looking at us. The Moody Blues. That was great. We're going to have a little fight between you guys later, because for the last thing that I want you to do on the show, the last song, you have to pick your favorites. Oh, that's not on the album. A classic. Okay.
Yeah, we've already decided.
Oh, you agree? Did you impose your will again on this man? You got him flying to Italy, now he's doing... So you already know what song you're going to do?
Yeah, it's to celebrate, you know, your first birthday.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When were you born?
I was born September 24th, 1965 in Long Island, New York.
Okay. A year later, it was 1966.
Great year for a GTO.
You're a Libra, too.
You're a Libra?
Yeah.
I am.
Of course!
Didn't I? Yeah.
Hello!
Swallow. What was it you said? Shallow.
Shallow.
Yeah. Freudian, very Freudian. Shallow.
I'm a youngin' guy myself. I don't know if that Freud guy had it going on.
Yeah.
I was raised in a Skinner box. Public school.
Luxury.
Public school. More questions. It's not about me. It's about you and the world. Oh, here it is right here. What's your favorite band? Old or new?
Well, the Beatles was my favourite band years ago. New bands, I don't know, so many.
Wu-Tang Clan?
Who?
These guys?
Oh, yeah.
No, who knew do you like? That's a good question.
Who knew? It's difficult. You know, there's a lot of we started in the clubs playing live music without a record contract. And one of the great things I enjoy doing when I'm traveling around is going to the clubs and seeing new music, new bands playing. And I really don't know the names of the bands, but, you know, it's great for people to go out and just see new music getting played.
I like all the girls. You know.
That's where it starts.
Do you like the girls?
I like the girls.
It's birthday. Can we get him a girl? It's your birthday. What the hell? It's on Warehouse.
He thought one was going to
it's all
cake.
It's all girls, isn't it? I mean, that biggest tour this year was that Lilith tour with them all on. Alanis Morissette and Tori Amos.
I might be taken to Italy, and we might be doing this song if they get there.
Hot. Guys are making a comeback. Bush is good.
There's no guys. They've all been discredited. All the men pop stars have been discredited.
What do you mean, John?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't. You always say I know.
Well, one was found in the toilet somewhere in Los Angeles, the biggest one we had. So that was him gone. I still love him, you know, of course, but that's true.
Negativity sells, though. I mean, you know.
Does it?
He's still a great musician, right? What's wrong with he's not like that. Whatever. Can't discredit.
I mean, the girls are powerful, aren't they, right now? Don't you think that in the music business? And the girls who can play are even more powerful.
I'm paid not to have an opinion.
Yeah, well,
no, but you know, the ladies are, I mean, Shania.
Yeah.
They're heavyweight.
Well, all of them, yeah.
By the way, Shania, if you're listening, check in. We need you here.
Mariah,
Shania.
And Whitney, and it's just brilliant, Madonna. Every one of them. I can't think of a new bloke.
Bush! He's relatively new. Isn't he from England? Anybody else?
It's the same bloke in a different... It's just like a different suit or something happened. It's the same geezer.
Same geezer.
I'll be round again.
Well, I mean, hey, you guys are still here. You're reinventing yourself, so you're new with Strange Times.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah.
More questions from me. This is from Tricky Kid. Do you have any good stories about coming up during American counterculture time period? Any good stories about that? And who were your favorite musicians during that period?
On our first visit to the United States, is this really what it means?
You mean early, like 60s? Is that what's that?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. I think, you know, when we first came over here to do, like in the mid-60s, it really was like leaving England when you asked what the English way was. It really, coming to America was like coming to a different planet, you know, and it really was a whole different world. And when we landed, you know, in America and saw the vastness of everything and the size of the cars, you know, you saw these in pictures and everything else, and the music, you know, because I bought my first bass first Fender bass in 1960, and you know, it was only sort of 2 years prior to that that you could actually find a bass guitar in the United Kingdom. in America, you know, so all, you know, you had Fender basses, Gibson basses, and so there's a huge culture difference because we had to make things up in England. We had to make bass cabinets and try and find a guitar that would work as a bass. It was different, very, very different. And of course we were really only copying American artists. You know, it's very difficult coming from Birmingham to be singing about the blues, and we'd never been to America. You know, it was very difficult.
I'll tell you what, funny thing happened on our very first. I can remember it distinctly because Dave Crosby had been in the Byrds, and we were, you know, we loved the Byrds and all that stuff, and the West Coast things, and Buffalo Springfield, and those kind of bands were really learning from the Beatles in England. But when we first came to America, we were kind of involved in that kind of culture. But he came to our first gig to see us in New York at the Fillmore East, Dave Crosby, and he came into the dressing room and said, "Great guys, lovely to meet you." And we're all sitting around, slightly stoned, but yeah. And he says, "I love you guys." He said, "You're kind of like the Bee Gees, aren't you?" And we all went, "What?" What?
The Hoochies?
Well, we knew who the Bee Gees were, but they were very kind of, and we love the Bee Gees, and they're fantastic, and of course, world band and everything, but at that time they were a very kind of teeny bop thing, but the American perception of them is very different, and that often happens with group. You have a perception of a group.
But at the same concert at the Fillmore East, they used to show cartoons, and Joshua Lights used to have all these, you know, psychedelic
That was the best
lights,
all the
psychedelic lights going.
You could do whatever you want with those lights as well.
And then we used to play a Mellotron, which had tapes which ran up and down, very early technology, and we played one song, and because it was so hot, when we went to play the next song, all the tape came out of the Mellotron like spaghetti at the back, and he just piled up, and of course that was the end of the Mellotron for the concert. And they put Bugs Bunny on the screen, and instead of the Moody Blues, it was an evening with Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner.
Improv.
Yeah, improv.
Make it work. What do you think about the new bands that are sounding like 60s with a twist? Do you think it's evolution or copycat?
Well, no, I think it is a kind of evolution, because I know for us when we were starting, we sounded like a 50s bands with a twist, and still doing, you know, I mean, obviously they're great big guitar heroes in England. For us when we were kids, you know, were Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry, and Little Richard and those kind of songs, you know, obviously they influenced all the English bands, and it's a compliment, really. I think it's still only a 3-4 chord business, you know, rock and roll. So it's if you've got to be influenced by a time, I'm very glad that it's that time of the 60s, really.
Yeah.